Thanks and welcome again everybody to this session where we will dive deeper into digital design delivery on ProjectWise, powered by iTwin, and this is part 1. My name is Ernst Bayer, working as a global digital twin consultant here at Bentley Systems, and where we will cover how to do design reviews in ProjectWise, powered by iTwin, what are iModels and how to create iModels. And then we will do a multidisciplinary design review, and then we will create a class detection test, assign it to a project member, and then manage the issues and solve it, and then synchronize it automatically back to the platform. So this is a closed loop workflow which we're going to show you, and then we are open for your questions, so looking forward to this one. For the people who are not so familiar with how to do design reviews in ProjectWise, powered by iTwin, this is a multidisciplinary coordination tool where you can do your class detection and design validation and design review, and then you can assign your issues to a project member, and then the person can open the authoring tool, and then the engineer can solve it in his application and synchronize it automatically back to the platform. And then you can do the reporting in iTwin as well. So we got over 40 connectors to synchronize file-based into a data-centric workflow. Key benefits of this workflow, which we're going to show you, is it's a data-centric closed-loop communication workflow. And then you can use the same data which has been generated during the engineering process. It can be used for different purposes for digital twin enabled applications. So you can think of carbon calculator, for instance, or you want to do the reporting in Power BI, or later on when the construction has been finished, you can include sensor data and monitor the construction live through a digital twin application with sensor data. So what we will cover is we got different connectors, so over 40. Here are some common data formats, and then we will bring them all together during a synchronization process, which is automated. Then we will do the class detection slash design validation. Found issues will be assigned to the engineer in his authoring tool. It can be both in Bentley and in Autodesk, and then the engineer receives it, solve it, and send it back for review. The process is that we synchronize it automatically back, and then it goes back in the loop, so that we reduce the issues of the design. So let me switch now to the design review. Let me start first showing you the project in the iModel viewer. Because what we have is different disciplines are generated by different applications. So this one is generated by Civil 3D, and then this one is OpenRidge. These roads are coming from Open Roads, and then we've got dry and wet utilities coming from Open Utilities. So different applications and different disciplines are all brought together in here. So where are they located? They are located in ProjectWise. So in this folder, I create a shared folder where we can connect to, and then you've got the files. So we got the Civil 3D files, and we've got the container files for the DGN files. So here you see the container file and the dependent files, so the bridge, road, street, wet, and the alignments. And then you can create a connection basically between these files and this model basically. So you create an empty iModel, and once you create it, you have to say what should be inside. So you create connections, and here I create one connection. So you're pointing back to here are the files which we used. So in this case, I pointed only to the container file, and then when the reference file is turned on, it will find the referenced elements or the referenced models and will include it in the synchronization. So that's what you see right here, including the Civil 3D. So that's how it works, and you can set up a schedule so to automate this process. So you can do it manually, or you can set up every 4 hours the synchronization process, or daily, or weekly. So iTwin can synchronize it automatically from file-based to data-centric. So some people are doing it, let's say Sunday night, that they synchronize it, so people are back in the office on Monday morning, and they've got always the latest version to do the reviewing. So if we go back to the model, so what do we have more? Let's go more in detail. If I, let's say, select the Civil 3D one, you will get the properties, which has been generated by this application. And here you see the properties which are generated by this one, by Civil 3D. So the beauty of this one is that you've got the geometry, including all the properties captured. So it's not a export out of Civil 3D. We synchronized it from the original application. So from an engineering standpoint, the designer don't have to do anything. We will pick the files and synchronize it into the platform. The same as for open roads. You've got different properties here. Open bridge as well. So the bridge can also come from different applications, of course. It can be Tekla or Revit. So you see all the different properties. So what we can do next is to analyze it more. So let's say we want to slice the model. Now we can use different tools here. We can section it, and we can also use the civil tools, which we'll cover in a later session. But let me show you first one easy example. So I will just pick 2 points, and then it will slice basically all the 3D models into a section view. And you can measure here, and you can move this one as well if you want. So I can also put it on the bridge, for instance. So it will slice the bridge as well. So it's when the 3D is visible, it will slice and it will show you. So yeah, more will come later in a later session where we focus specific on the civil tools. So let us do some measuring. So here you got the measuring tools. So let's say you want to know the elevation. So what you can do is pick a point here. So what it will do, it will create a label with the coordinates, including the Z. If you want to share it with the other team members, you can easily click on share, and it will be visible for the others. The same as for distance, you can measure here in your 3D model. So pretty easy to do, and you can remove them as well. So here you can remove the measurements there. So let's say we analyzed visually the model. Now we want to do it more sophisticated. So now we can go into class detection. So here you got class detection and design validation. From a time perspective, I created already a class detection test. What I've done is here compared wet utilities with dry utilities. So let's say this one. So you see the conduit blue is from the street lighting, and this is the manhole or inlet for the wet utilities. So what it's doing, you click on the row and it will automatically zoom into the found issue. So you can set up a class detection test and then run it and then analyze it. So that's basically what we see here. We can also suppress it. You can build in rules. So let's say we want to solve these ones. Let's say this one. So here we see the conduit from the dry utility is coming close to the storm. So let's say this one needs to be solved. So what we can do, we can create an issue here. So click on the issue, and it will open a form. So forms can be designed yourself. So there's a form designer, and also for each workflow you can create different forms. So let's say this is a clash review. This is dry and wet conduits. I will set a date here. Depends what you want in these in these forms, so you can design them as well, like I mentioned. So let me assign them to to Simon. He's the utility engineer, and say please check. And then you say save. So once I click save, Simon will get a notification in his application as well. Let me open the application. So let's imagine I'm Simon, I'm the engineer, and then you see also the iTwin model. So basically what you can do is to referencing in the entire design, the entire iTwin. So the benefit is it's read only, and you have got the entire model, so including the civil 3D, all the disciplines, so you don't need to to export or import again. So everything is there, including you've got always the latest version. So let's say I want to know what are the issues. So what you can do is collaborate and click on manage issues. So by the way, you've got always the elements. So if you go back to the Civil 3D model, you see also all the information which I had in design review. You see them as well here. So there's no need to to convert. So let me close this one. So this toolbar with the manage issues, we've got them also for Autodesk products like AutoCAD, Civil 3D, Revit. The same dialog box. So it's software agnostic for the issues as well. So let me reload. Let's filter on Clash. And then we've got here our latest one. These are assigned to Simon, but I can see them as well. You can also filter them that you see only your own issues. But let's say I want to open it. And now I see the description and the attachment. So once you create an issue in Design Review, it will automatically create a saved view or a print screen. And that's what you see. If you right click, you can also do fit view. It will automatically go into the right location. So that's what you've got here. So if you open it again, so let's say show the attachment, and that's where it is. So here this is the electrical, this is the storm, and that's needs to be solved. So what you can do is, let's say, open it and then say, okay, let me check. I will move the dry utility. Yeah. So that's what you've got right here. So let's go back to the design review session, and let's assume that our engineer Simon has created a new version, and we synchronized automatically this one into the design review session. So let's have a look at the issues. So here's the list of the issues which are available and generated. So let's go back to the one which Simon created. It looks like, I think it's this one, dry and wet utilities here. If we select here the icon of show the markers, we will see the location. We can go more into the details, what it is, when it's created, and also if you go back, if you click on this one, it will zoom into the location. So now we can check visually what has been changed, and it looks like the dry utility conduit is not clashing in anymore with the wet utility pipe. So here there are some notes. So let's go back to the reporting as well. So the reporting shows all the issues in a list, and here you can filter on the type of issue. So you've got clash issues, but there are also general issues, which I will show you later. So let's say we filter on clash, and here's the issue which has been created. So there's also a link directly to the model. So let's open this one. It will give you some more information. It's opening the form. You can change it. And also, oh, I will do it again. On the right side, you see also the attachment and the comments which our engineer Simon created. So we can comment back. We say, thanks, looks great. So this is a vice versa bidirectional communication and stored as well. So we can always go back in our audit trail basically. So that's this one. There are different ways to yeah, create graphical information. So more, let's say you want to see what is the class status, what are the so there are different properties which you can select basically, and also some more information and statistics on the right side. So if we go back and let's say we want to see now, we run the class detection test again, so we can use the same test, but then for a different version, because after synchronization, we create a new version. So let's have a look here and we will check the class detection again. So from time perspective, I created the test again. I did run it, create a new version, and now there's only one clash available. It seems to be it's one which can be suppressed. It's a storm area, which is not a real 3D model object. So what you can do, you can also suppress it here. So there are different ways to suppress and comment, and so it looks better, our design. And now I think the interesting question is what has been changed, isn't it? So changed between versions. So what we have got here are the models, and we see different colors. So the four types which we have here, let me show you. These are the elements which are unchanged, elements which are added, removed, or modified. So let's say we are only interested in what has been modified. So that can be based on geometry or the placement of the elements or the properties. And then there are some extra advancement filtering for properties based. So the properties which are in the models are there, so you can use them as well. So let's say we are only interested in particular models. So let's say only the street lighting. So you see the modified elements, but what has been changed? So what you can do now is to inspect the properties even more. So what you can do is go to the inspect properties. Let's say you can select an element or a selection of a group of elements, but let's keep it simple for this purpose. So what it is showing now, it's a side-by-side view. Left side, we see the current version, and the right side, we see the second version, basically, the previous version. And then in the bottom, we see the properties as well. So what has been changed in the properties? And this is an excellent way of comparing, because comparing properties is really hard. It takes a lot of time, and now it's done automatically. So you can also say, show me only the elements which are changed. So it is green has been added and blue was modified. So now we can go even more. We can say, no, I want to see an overlay. So you can turn off the side by side. And here you can say, I want to see how it was in the second version. So if I bring this slider to the right, and let me zoom out a bit. Yeah. So you see the elements which are unchanged, but also the street light pole is there, and then you can bring them and see it in the view what has been changed as well. So this is a really interesting way to to compare between versions, and that's the interesting way working that we, after synchronization, we create new versions, then we can compare what has been changed, create issues, assign them issues, keep them in the loop. So we've got a closed loop workflow. Let me go back to the saved view here. That's perhaps easier. So ProjectWise Design Review powered by iTwin gives you the full capability of a data-centric workflow, including the closed loop communication, what we have seen. And the data which you're using can be used directly into digital twin enabled applications. So the applications can be built yourself, or we can help you with this. The source code can be found on GitHub. You can think of including carbon calculators, sensor data connected live and or static, depends what you prefer, or publishing the class detections, for instance, into Power BI for more dashboarding. So yeah, the possibilities are endless, and I want to thank you. I'm looking forward also to your questions. So thanks.